Everybody, we are back. It is Save the Last Favorite Podcast, favorite channel, favorite everything. We are back. You guys already know what to do. Hit the subscribe button, subscribe. Hit the like button if you like it. Hit the dislike button if you don't like it. Leave a comment if you like it. Leave a comment if you don't like it. Also follow us on Twitter at the Mark John NFL for me, at mholder95 for Matt, and of course, pandasups.com, discount code TDL for 35% off. All right, so today we're doing DJ Glaze or Delmar Glaze or whatever we want to call him. DJ Glaze. We'll go DJ. I guess is the name he's going. So we'll talk about him basically today. Go over run blocking, pass blocking, kind of like what we did with Jackson Powers Johnson. Definitely a better watch with Jackson Powers Johnson, but we'll see some things here with DJ Glaze. A couple of things have happened this week, though. A couple of news bits. Probably we're getting some news bits. Tom Telesco's decided free agency started after the draft. So
legitimately, yeah. I think he's had as many signings after the draft as he did before it. I think they only signed 4 guys. They've signed 4 guys since then, but hey, it works.
Yeah, man. That's the situation we're looking at. We're seeing Tom Telesco making some moves. He signed Jalen Guyton, former Chargers wide receiver, kind of Chargers deep threat type of guy. If you remember from Justin Herbert's rookie year, Justin Herbert made that throw. It was like 70 yards, and it was like he's falling, basically getting hit at the same time. That was Jalen Guyton. Jalen Guyton's made some big plays for the Chargers. I didn't really get that much playing time in the last couple of years, but back in 2020 and about 2019, he was out there making some plays a little bit. And then they signed Andres Pete, who went to Corona del Sol High School out here in Arizona. He's from Tempe. His dad played for the Raiders as well. So there's a little bit of a Raiders connection there with Andres Pete. But he played left tackle and guard for the Saints. I don't know if some want him to play right tackle, but I think he's going to be the backup guard or like just a swing, maybe left tackle type of thing. If Colton Miller gets hurt or something like that, I don't know. But I see him playing guard. What are your thoughts, Matt?
Yeah, I mean, Guyton, he had a good 2-year run. I think this last year or the year before, it might have been a situation where he was coming off a torn ACL, battled injuries in the last 2 years. But he had a nice 2-year run, and I think it was either 2019 and 2020 or 2020 and 2021. So somewhat recently, kind of the same boat as Gallup, but not quite as good of a why not type of signing. I mean, I know he's played special teams and stuff like that too, so that's obviously a bonus when you get down to that part of the roster. But again, another guy that adds some speed to this offense. I think he ran sub 4.4. I don't quite remember what his time was, but he can fly a little bit, like you said. Just a matter of how that wheel is after it getting injured and getting banged up in the last couple of years. I mean, with Pete, expectations aren't too high. I think, like you said, I think he's a backup. Last year with the Saints, he took a pay cut to stay in New Orleans, and then was originally going to be the backup, and they found out that Trevor Penning can't pass block, and for the second or third year in a row, and he ended up filling in at left tackle. And I mean, he wasn't anything special. Obviously, they would have brought him back if he was, but he was serviceable in that role. And so I think you could probably see something similar, like you said, where he backs up Colton Miller probably if he ends up making the team, unless one of those rookies we don't know much about right at this point ends up beating him out. But yeah, I mean, a backup option who, like you said, can fill in at guard. Yeah, I know people ask. I found it kind of funny when people ask him about him playing right tackle. I'm like, and I went and looked it up. He took in 2018 or 2019, which was one of his 3 Pro Bowl years.
Yeah,
he took 2 snaps at right tackle, and then his rookie year he took 78. So I'm like, yeah, he doesn't really have that experience, and that's not really something you learn in year. I guess he's going into year 10.
Yeah.
Now, so, yeah, probably more on the left side. Probably again more of an insurance policy to have a veteran option if you need it, because they are pretty young after that first line. I mean, even the starting line is kind of young with Parham and Powers Johnson that's starting, and Munford right tackle, 3 guys on a rookie contract. So get some experience in there, which is good.
Yeah, I think they got some pretty good depth on the offensive line now. I mean, even having Cody Whitehair back there, not too much a tackle, but I guess Andre Pete kind of gives that kind of a little bit of that ability to play tackle and kind of be that little bit of a swing guy. And I guess they got Dalton Wagner's over there and some of those other guys. But it'd be interesting to see what they do.
Benjamin McKenzie's kid.
Yeah, those type of guys. They're over there playing. They have a pretty solid offensive line. That's what I would say. They like, because even if you think about some of the guys getting hurt, let's say like Andre James gets hurt, Jackson Powers Johnson can move over, Cody Whitehair can come in. It's not that bad of a drop off. You know what I mean? It's
Yeah.
not, Cody Whitehair is pretty much an average NFL guard at this point. So that's pretty good depth for you to have. And, going forward, if there's some injuries that can, mix it up a little bit with the offensive line, move some guys around. Don't have to worry about so much, trying to go get somebody. They can just move people around a little bit, have some versatility. So it's not bad signings. I thought they're pretty good signings overall.
Yeah.
Because from a depth perspective, I wouldn't.
Yeah.
I don't know if I want Cody Whitehair and I'll just Pete starting. You know what I mean?
No.
I mean, if that happens, like for a couple games, yes, that's fine. But like a whole season, I think it's a little past that. So, but it's good depth though.
I mean, put it this way: if those guys are starting, something bad happened. Someone got hurt. Like someone in the starting lineup they were expecting to start ended up not working out, or for some reason or another.
And I know people want to replace Parham already. I mean, there's people out there who get rid of Parham. They're like Pete versus Parham. That's probably gonna be a talk, the battle. But if that happens, if Parham loses that's really a bad look, in my opinion. I hopefully he grows. I think he will though. I think he got a little bit better last year. He's a solid guard. I wouldn't say he's terrible or anything like that. So,
No, yeah. I mean, ideally, Dylan Parham's again. If under speed starting, something bad happens, which means Dylan Parham isn't progressing like we would have hoped a few years ago. But yeah, I agree with you. I think like Parham right now, I feel like might be. I mean, maybe you could say JPJ because he's the rookie. Parham might be the weak link on the offensive line. I don't know.
Yeah,
maybe Munford, but
yeah,
I still think like the fact that he's like might be your worst offensive lineman. That's a good problem to have. Like he's still solid in what he can do.
Exactly. That's a positive thing that he's your worst offensive lineman. All right, so the man of the hour, the man of the show. We're at the third round. We did the first round. Brock Bowers, go check that one out. We did JPJ. Go check that one out as well. Today we're doing DJ Glaze, tackle from Maryland. All right, who played left tackle and right tackle at Maryland. Supposedly his right tackle tape is better. I haven't gone and watched his right tackle tape, but I've heard that's what a fan said. In 2022, his right tackle tape is better. Maybe we'll go check that out. But we watched his left tackle tape this year, and I would say that. Do I see him like winning a battle with Thayer Munford? I would say no there. Like I think it's gonna be hard for him to kind of beat out Dalton Wagner a little bit. Just from the film and how it looks, and just because more of the run blocking is just so inconsistent. I think he's a better pass protector. I mean, you're gonna say more about that, Matt, but I think the run blocking is just a little bit. He doesn't have a lot of power there, so it's gonna be hard for him to beat out Munford that way, because Munford is a better run blocker, like right away. And offensive line coaches and whatever teams that they're putting their depth charts together, they're probably going to go with the better run blocker if they can pass protect about the same. So that's my thing with Glaze. But what were your thoughts?
I mean, I think they like him and Thayer Munford. They kind of have similar profiles. Obviously, Munford was a 7th round pick and Glaze was a 3rd. But I do think like they are like somewhat similar players. Like I did kind of like have that a little bit of a flashback, but like you said, Munford is a much better run blocker. And I mean, we'll go into Glaze. I don't know if he has the feet to hold up on the edge, at least now. Like he's a project in that regard. Like if he's their starting right tackle, again, something bad happened with Thayer Munford, because I just don't trust him at all. Like we'll get into it right now with those athletic Penn State pass rushers. Like they ate him alive. And like there were times where it looked like his feet were in cement. It was pretty bad. Like, and he lost quite a few reps on that in that game and whatnot. Yeah, I mean, I've been a big proponent of the Raiders draft so far. I love the first 2 picks, and we made no secret about that in those first 2 videos. And we've been some of the biggest supporters, or at least I've been one of the biggest supporters of Tom Telesco's first draft. This was the one pick where I'm like, I don't know. I didn't see it. I didn't quite get it. It still doesn't make much sense to me going into just watching his tape. It's because like, I mean, I do agree that like he might be a little bit better as a pass protection, but like I said, I don't know how much I trust him at pass protection. And I'll show a few clips. Like I actually think he has more potential in pass pro at guard. Like he has like a pretty nice get off, and like he's got some vice grips. He's strong as hell when he can get his hands on you. But when he's out in space and when he has to like vertical set and like guys can kind of set him up, like he really struggles. Like I almost think that type of profile would be much better suited on the inside because, again, he does have some strong hands where when he gets a hold of guys, like he's stopping your move. It's just a matter of is he going to be able to get his hands on him and stay in front of him with his feet.
Yeah, exactly. And some of the thoughts that I have too with kind of how he is in run blocking too is just how athletic is he? Is he athletic enough to kind of do those things in the NFL? But let's get into it. Let's do run blocking first today.
Sounds good.
Let's do it. All right, you're good. You can see it, right?
Yep.
All right. So we'll start with DJ Glaze here. Here he is right here, playing left tackle for Maryland. So, of course, we always start positive here. So here's some of the good blocks. Let me take it back. Sorry, guys, take it back a little bit here. You see in this one, he has good pad level here. He's able to get some push, keep the legs moving, get a little bit of a pancake there. So this is one of the better blocks. You kind of see his power a little bit, right? I mean, he is a strong guy, but you just don't see it all the time on film, right? So you kind of see it there with that block much over time. Get that push.
Pad level too.
Yeah,
Keeps
good pad level
moving.
there. There's another one here. It's 48. Yeah, to get some push. You see just the power and the movement he can get if he has that pad level good. See, good pad level here because he's a taller guy. Get under 48, drive, keep his legs moving. I really like that block.
The thing I like about that too is he uses.
Go ahead.
As I say, the thing I like about that rep too is like he uses his hands to stand the defensive lineman up. Like you can see him kind of like even at that spot where the guy has his foot in the air, like he can help give himself a leverage advantage, and he has that strength and the arm length too. He's got some I think he's got 35-inch arms if I remember correctly.
Yeah, yeah, he has very, very long arms. So here's another one here, little bit, kind of split zone motion here. A little bit of reach block. Kind of see, just kind of push this guy along. You kind of see about the athleticism to kind of do the zone game though here a little bit. Is that the guy? I think 55 overplays this a little bit too much, but he just keeps pushing him. But maybe a better player kind of splits that.
Yeah.
See it one more time. He just never gets his hands on him, right? So, the block worked there, but you kind of can see how the athleticism, what the Raiders want to do. That's why it makes it an interesting pick. It's just can he run the zone game? All right, so see him in space against another Raiders draft pick, Mr. Eichenberg here.
Can't show this one. That's my boy right there. I've been hyping up.
I give some better clips of him later here, but you see him kind of get to the second level because this is a little bit of an issue for DJ Glaze. Is the second level, but he does a good job here. Gets square, which sometimes he gets a little ahead of himself. He doesn't have the athleticism, so he does a good job here getting square, knowing where the running back's supposed to go, getting his hands on Eichenberg there, and he's not able to get any movement on a small a linebacker that he has about 100 pounds on. So. Here's another one. You see, this is probably the most physical play, which this is a positive play from I watch Eichenberg kind of side here. He makes a nice little play through the. There you go. There you go. Right. So there's some positivity for Eichenberg, but DJ Glaze right here. See him just kind of get the double team 51, get that good push there. See that power. So that's a good rep from him right there.
Yeah, he can be nasty on double teams. That's for sure.
See here, get that push, big push, block another player. It's nice. All right, here we go. Here's another one here. A little bit of inside zone here. See, I like this one because he does get a little bit of help. You see, he gets some good pad level here. This guy's standing up. He's able to get under him, get some push there. Pretty good block.
And going up against a less athletic defender, which helps him out, but you see the get off and that time, the difference in that zone block versus the other one we saw where the guy still had inside positioning on him.
See, there's another one here. So this one, you see him get on a linebacker. I mean, Ohio State was definitely his best film watching. I mean, even watching Penn State, because I watched Illinois and Penn State in this one, that, his run blocking against Penn State is probably his best game, run blocking. You kind of see how he's able to use his power against these guys, right? And it's a good job actually, kind of just winning. I mean, his hand placement isn't the best, but I mean, against a linebacker, he's going to get that chance to kind of take those guys down like that. All right, so let's kind of get into a little bit of the struggles here in the run game that we have. So you see him right here. He's gonna be doing another outside zone reach block here. You just kind of see him try to get that same kind of one hand thing. That's not gonna work. I mean, you reach blocks. You want to get your helmet in front of this guy. You want to be able to basically get some push here. He doesn't get any, and this guy's able to kind of just control it, get a straight line, get a tackle there. That's athleticism a little bit to me. Like he just can't get there on time, right? And that's what I'm worried about the pick more is that like maybe it's more of a power scheme and maybe that's what they want to run, but they've just been talking zone. So so it gets interesting here. And some of these things, it's just like sometimes he just doesn't get the power that you would expect from him like earlier. Like this one, he just kind of gets stood up here. He doesn't get too much push, which allows this linebacker behind him to roam free. I mean, that's kind of the play a little bit here too. If he gets some more push, he can make this linebacker, make some kind of move or just hesitation a little bit. But the linebacker goes right there. He's right there in the hole because he can't get that push. And you talk about pad level a little bit. I mean, he still has a pretty decent pad level. It's just, I don't know, sometimes he just can't drive people. And it's just interesting.
And what makes me nervous about that play is like that's against Johnny Newton, who's some of the best competition he faced. And again, like the other guy, I couldn't tell you who 48 from Illinois is, no disrespect, but obviously it's not the first round pick. And I mean,
yeah,
that's where I get a little worried. Or, excuse me, Newton was a second round pick. So
here's another rep against Newton. Another thing I'm talking about here. So Newton's able to get his hands inside here. Even with the good paddle, he gets his hands inside and he's able to drive him, right? But I mean, the play actually ends up being a touchdown because the rest of the offensive line does a good job. But I mean, if he had to go to their side, he's not doing anything with Glaze. He's just pushing Glaze around a little bit.
Yeah, he closed the gap with Glaze.
Yeah. So you just like basically like sometimes it gets better players or even in the run game, it just sometimes he just doesn't get that push here. So here's another one here. So oh, here, look at the wrong side here. So you see here against 97, he's just getting pushed back, and then this running back, he has go into a way tighter lane here. He just has no push there.
Set. Yeah, that's my biggest frustration with them. Is like he's big and strong, but the push is just very inconsistent at best.
Yeah, and then in space, he's just not really good in space, and that's what's about athleticism. You see here against Eichenberg one more time. Eichenberg just pushes him out of the way. You could look at this play as a positive here, guys. This is a positive and negative play I'm showing. Is this a good play by Eichenberg too? All right. See him here again in space against Eichenberg. He just has to get his hands on him. Eichenberg's like, no, and just toss to the side, makes tackle.
Dude, I did Eichenberg's write up for Silver and Black Pride today, and it was so refreshing to watch a linebacker take on blocks with his hands just like that.
I know, man. This is a positive and negative clip here, guys. This is you're watching. Eichenberg's a pretty damn good linebacker. Against the run, I'm not gonna lie. I was watching this. He can play the run, man. Day one.
Yep.
You see it there, and then see him. This is what I'm talking about. Athleticism. I can't even say the word athleticism here as well. Thayer Mumford can get out. That's one thing he can do. He can get around the corner, right? Pretty well. And you've seen him on so many sweeps, especially with, how much Josh McDaniels loves a good sweep toss, just one of his favorite plays. And he just can't get the space out here to get any blocking for Tagovailoa there. So Tagovailoa. And this is another example in space. He just kind of,
Oh yeah,
just doesn't hit anybody. And he's just like running around, having a good time,
yeah.
having a great
Maybe
time
block
out
one
there.
of those two guys that got involved in the tackle.
You know. So yeah, I mean that's really his run blocking, man. It's a little up and down. There's some good moments where he can show his power off, but like a lot of times get some better players who are, they can win leverage too and have that same play strength that maybe he does. He doesn't really get that movement. And then you can see how, even Tommy Eichenberg was doing some things to him in the space. So it's just the athleticism for me. He's the only guy that Tom Telesco's drafted that has like under 30-inch vertical. So it was super interesting that he even drafted him. His vertical is only 25 inches. So you kind of can show his explosiveness off the ball. They do have him listed at guard on the depth chart, which I thought that was super interesting. So maybe they see him as a guard too. But I mean, they got like 20 guards. Like last year, they had 80 tackles. They should have got 80 guards. So it's like, I got a couple swing guys, I guess, guys that could swing around and do a couple things. But it's just a lot of guards back there. So if they expect that to happen, I think that's a good thing for Darren Munford. I think Darren Munford's probably showing a lot of upside there that, they feel like they might have to move Glaze to guard, but it's maybe he could do that there, but I don't know. It'll be a little tough for him there as well, but maybe he can make that move inside.
Yeah, I mean the lack of power off the ball and like the lack of being able to move guys like Johnny Newton is going to be the biggest issue if he slides into guard. But that's kind of my biggest concern is it like we're showing clips against Eichenberg where Eichenberg beat him. Granted, Glaze got him once. We're showing clips against him against Johnny Newton. Newton's getting him about to flip on some Penn State tape where they had two draft picks at edge rusher and they got him. So it's like I'm starting to notice a trend here when like he went up against better competition. Like he didn't exactly rise to the occasion. Honestly, ended up floundering and having some of his worst moments. I mean, granted, the Ohio State game was good and they have a couple of good edge rushers, but their edge rushers and Tuimoloau, I'm pretty sure I'm saying that wrong, and Jack Sawyer, they kind of played into his hand as guys that are like physical rushers that are but smaller, right? They're like I think Tui's maybe 270 and Sawyer's probably like 260, something like that. So he had the size advantage. So that's the scary part for me is like, man, when this competition rose, like, and he had to go up against, better guys that he might have to play at, he might have to go up against at guard. He struggled. So we'll see.
Yeah, for sure, man. For sure. All right, dude. Let's get into this pass protection, man. Let's check out some DJ Glaze pass protection.
All right. So I'm a little bit the opposite. I like to start with the bad and end on a high note. So we're going to start with some bad reps and pass pro. And this is kind of what I was talking about a little bit in the beginning where he's pretty reliant on getting his hands on guys and he can struggle against athletic pass rushers. Like this is actually a pretty good move by this 49. Sorry, 49, I don't know your name. Hopefully I'll learn it next year in the draft. But like this is a pretty nice little hand swipe that he's got going here where he kind of knocks Glaze's hands down and he just doesn't have the feet. Like you can see right here, like the pass rusher's feet are past his already. And he ends up getting beat around the edge fairly easily. The other issue he has, and this is going to highlight it, is he's not good. He's late at seeing stunts. Like at this rep, like this is a tough one because they are slanting the two guys, or they are slanting strong and wrapping weak with the 2-eye technique here. So it is harder to see, and he doesn't get pressure he doesn't feel the right guard on his side because he just follows his pass rusher too. But you can see right here, like the center is waiting for him to pass him off. I don't know if the center's going to pick him up anyway, but at no point does he even get eyes on this looper and even see this guy coming. And then we'll back this up. I went forward. Like watch who ends up making the sack.
Yeah.
Like that's kind of the issue is like he's just late to see things, and that was pretty consistent throughout his film, even in his good games. Even in Ohio State, I think he missed one that may not have ended up in a sack, but was not exactly a good rep from him by any means.
Yeah.
All right. This one going up against Chop. I mean, you see the same kind of thing. Like again, Chop is an elite athlete, and this is why this guy was a first-round pick because he's fast as hell around the edge. But his feet, Glaze's feet, like he gets out of his stance pretty well. Like he's got a nice, good good initial set. Like he's fine right here, and his feet just like slow way down. Like he's like I like to call him. He's an electric car. Electric cars, they're fast, 0 to 30.
Yeah.
gas will always win like 0 to 60 or whatever like that in the long run. He's an electric car. He's got a nice get off, and then he just dies. Like his feet just like slow way down. So yeah, it stopped. Okay, my note on this one is, oh God, let's take a look.
Okay.
Oh yeah, I know it's.
Oh, I remember this play.
Now I will give him some credit because I think Penn State is running a stunt here with or a little ET stunt where Zero is actually he just doesn't end up rushing because he has the peel and picks up the back. So he might be trying to pass this guy off, but at the same time, like he's not exactly eyeing the looper or anything like that. And I mean, at no point is he ever in a good spot to be able to pick that guy up anyway. And he really just gets beat inside by Chop right here.
Yeah.
And like, again, maybe you could technically put that on the guard, but I'm not exactly having confidence in watching this rep that he's going to be able to win this, even if they don't, even if this was like just an inside move or be able to pick up this stunt had that looper just rushed the passer and not picked up the peel. And we're going to see that for a few reps that coming up here in a second. Another one going up against Chop. This was Chop's highlight game. This is the one he sent all the NFL teams. Because again, it's the same thing, man. Like just beat around the edge. And this is where I'm talking about, where I'm concerned about him at tackle is he's just so reliant on landing his hands. And when these fast edge rushers beat him off the ball and beat him around the edge, like he's screwed. Like it's he doesn't have great feet. And again,
he looks like he's a guard. He looks like a guard. I mean, he can't play.
He's built like a guard with long arms. And I mean, we'll see it again here. Like he's going to get this inside move from Adisa Isaac. Hopefully I'm saying his first name right. And just late to react to it. Change of direction isn't great. Like I think if I slow this down a little bit, like he kind of has like a wasted step here. Like if you see this right here, he's going to pivot to go inside and not get any ground. Like I'll put my cursor on his inside foot. Yeah. So he actually lost a little ground. Like he gets caught off guard by those inside moves. And I think that's also part of his issue with in line games is he doesn't quite have the feet to stay in front. And Adisa Isaac kills Tua's brother. Chop Robinson, nice little spin inside. Again, just feet get stuck in cement. Those inside counters killed him. I was surprised he didn't get called for the hold, and then I watched this center here. That might be the most egregious hold I've seen in my life. And both refs are pulling the flags. I'm like, man, how did Glaze get away with the hold here? And then I realized, oh yeah, it's probably because someone else got 2 for the takedown. But yeah, they probably could have called this on him too, because going back to him, like he also just tackles Chop right at the because again, if you're stuck. See a couple more of these.
Tua's brother was in hell that game. He was in hell.
Excuse me. We're actually gonna move on. We'll move on to some get some positive plays. Right. This is where I kind of was starting to talk about him a little bit too. It's like Ohio State game. 97 here wasn't a great pass rusher. He tries to go through his chest a little bit, and again, like you're just not doing that. Like he's got a nice base, good pad level here, and I also like he's really good at doing this. Like if you watch his inside hand right here. He gets that inside hand and uses it to pin this pass rusher's inside hand down too, so that he can't work that move across his face that we've been seeing him get beat by. So that's what I'm talking about. When he can get his hands on guys, he'll be all right because he's got vice grips and long arms and a strong dude, and he can control guys. It's just a matter of if he's going to have the feet to be able to touch guys in the NFL to even get that opportunity. Here he's going to go up against Sawyer. I included the sideline angle so you can see see how well he sets the anchor. Like right here, just kind of drops it and parks himself about 5 yards deep. And one of Sawyer's best moves is this long arm, which he tries here against Glaze. But again, Glaze has the base and the strength to just kind of sit on it and prevent him from getting collapsed in the pocket with it. And we'll see from the other angle his hands again too, where he does the same type of thing where he's able to pin Sawyer's inside arm down. and kind of negate a little bit the effectiveness of that long arm move. So
Yeah.
again, when he can get hands on guys, he's strong and he can control people. But again, this is the lighter guy than he's going to face if he's going to put pass block on the inside. That's the biggest difference. But
yeah,
does have some impressive strength. Similar rep here. I do like how he uses his hands sometimes. Like here, his punch is technically a little late, but like you can see, like it's intentional, right? Like yes, the pass rusher technically got his hands on him first, but he comes right up with it and ends up knocking that rusher's hands off and putting his momentum up. So like those are some of the things that I do think he can be good at. Again, using his hands, got a strong punch, and be able to help sink and anchor, which in my opinion would be better used on at guard.
Yeah.
He's going to go up against, I put that. This was the one I thought we were going. Got out of order a little bit here. But yeah, this is another going out of order here. This is a bad rep by him.
You're ending it on negativity here.
I know, right? I think I got a couple more though. We're good. But yeah, same kind of thing. Isaac again, beats him with the inside boot. Apologies for the cross myself up here.
Yeah.
All right, here's going to go up against JT, which is another guy that's games rooted in power. So it kind of plays to his strengths. You can see this time, like he goes up against a guy that's not quite as athletic, who tries this inside spin move. And he does a great job here of controlling him and stopping him around the edge with his outside arm, like right with that punch. And then watch, he's going to bring his inside arm and put it right on the back, and that stops that inside spin move. So again, when guys try power moves and try and go through his chest, and he can get his hands on them, he'll control them and he'll be able to stop their moves. But those athletic guys still give him a ton of trouble. This one I actually liked a lot from his get off standpoint, going up against a wide rusher. So if you are in the camp that want Glaze to play tackle, this would be the most encouraging rep, because again, wide alignment rushers are really tough when you're not athletic. But he has good initial quickness to get there and like get to the spot and be able to be in a position to defend against an inside move and split the pass rusher's crotch with the outside foot, so that he can still hold down the edge. And again, this is the same guy that beat him earlier with that hand swipe move, but this time he gets his hands on him and lands his punch, and guy's going nowhere. So his hands are the big key in pass, bro.
That was an awful throw. Good. What the hell was that?
Yeah, that's too better for you.
All right.
But this is one I wanted to end on this rep more specifically, again, because this is not his best game and not his best day. But I feel like this is a good example of what he can do in pass pro as a guard. Like, because I almost said Mizzou tight end attached here, so he doesn't have as much of a worry about getting beat around the edge. He's protected a little bit, and that's back to his side too, which can help. But like you can see, like when he can just get off and like get his hands on guys, and again, you're not going through this guy's chest because he's strong, and then he can sit down and anchor. And I mean, that's one of the best pass pro reps he had all day.
Yeah.
So a little bit more encouraging for me on the interior, where he doesn't have to worry about getting depth and can kind of just park himself at the line of scrimmage and use jump and quick sets more often to get into guys right away, rather than giving them space and more opportunities to use their athleticism to beat them.
All right, man. All right. So we came to the conclusion he's a guard. All right. That's what I learned from this show. I didn't really come into the show thinking that. I didn't know he was on the depth chart as a guard. I did see that. But just from, me going over the film and then you going over the film, like, oh, this dude he has to play guard, basically. I mean, he's like, for him to be successful, unless he just, I don't know how he's going to fix those feet. It would take a lot of Duke Mayweather coaching or something. He had to go like the Duke, like during the season, working on his feet. it would have to be like a serious, I mean, then even Alex Leatherwood went to Duke, it didn't matter. So, that's my thing. I think they have to move him inside. He's labeled a guard right now. So if that's the thing, I think it's a smart thing to do. Because, I mean, I don't know if he could play tackle right now. I mean, it would be rough for him, for sure.
Yeah, I mean, if anyone's questioning, I know some people have asked me on Twitter, like, is he a starting right tackle option? Like, no, not this year. Definitely not this year. Again, if he's starting at right tackle, something went wrong. And I mean, that's not, especially with quarterbacks that aren't like the most mobile or aren't, I mean, can't move quite as well, especially with Aiden O'Connell. Like, that's not exactly somebody I trust to not get beat quickly off the line against fast pass rushers. So I am interested again to see what he can do against bigger pass rushers and on the inside. That'd be obviously the biggest test of his strength, but not the most encouraging tackle film, that's for sure.
Yeah, because even when he tried to pull, sometimes the tackle, it would take him a little longer. So maybe if he was at guard, he could probably get around the corner a little bit better. Some of those things. I mean, in space, of course, you want guards in space. And that was a little bit worrisome, but it was a little bit better against Illinois than it was Ohio State against, but that was just a better linebacker, I guess, that he was trying to get to the second level. But it's one of those things with him. It's like, if I move him inside, can he do the space movements that you want from a guard? They want to play outside zone, so can he do outside zone from inside? So it is a hard fit for me with him. It's just a weird fit for what they want to do on offense. Like if they're like a power football team and they want to move him inside, I'd be like, okay, that makes more sense. Since they want to run zone and things like that, that's when it gets a little weird with him. That's all.
Yeah, maybe they're just lying to us all. Like we were you showing earlier that Alexander Madison's a gap back, and they're just trying to sell the farm a little bit and put some quotes out there, some false information out there for week one to catch people by surprise or something. I don't know.
Just pure power football week one counters and tosses. Yeah, it could be a thing, man. You could be right. All right. Any other thoughts on Glaze before we get out of here?
I mean, not much. Like I said, like definitely feel like I'd like to see, I'd have to go back and like see like who else was drafted in the third round. But yeah, definitely a guy that I think probably a little overdrafted. Gives me a little bit of Byron Young vibes from last year, where it's like, man, they might have taken this guy at least a round too early, just kind of in my opinion. But hopefully it's not that bad. Hopefully I didn't put that bad of a curse on him. But yeah, not a guy that you would have hoped from a top 100 pick that you can get a potential starter. Like I would be again. I'd be worried if he's starting for them week one.
Yeah, for sure. All right, guys, we're out of here. Hit the subscribe button. Subscribe. There you go. Subscribe. Subscribe. Hit the subscribe button. Check out the other episodes with JPJ and Brock Bowers. And, of course, hit the subscribe button also. So we're out of here, guys.